What's up, everybody? Stray Dog at your service here. Anybody that's been keeping score, this is the third motherboard. We had two Strix motherboards in a row that were defective. So, needless to say, as much as I love the aesthetics of all the Strix hardware, I went with Aorus Pro X Wi-Fi Z790. And still a nice looking motherboard. Believe you me, nobody wanted that E variant Strix motherboard to work more than I did, but it just was every time it would post, but it wouldn't boot into Windows. It would throw an error every time saying inaccessible boot drive. I tried every troubleshooting method in the book. I just could not get it working. I mean, I even threw in the towel, so much so to take it to Longview Tech Pros in town, and they said the same thing. It's a bad motherboard. So I sent that one back to get my money back, because even used, that was $350 for that motherboard. The time when it came out, that was like a $600 motherboard. It was the highest end Strix motherboard available for that socket. But this is the highest end Aorus motherboard. Brand new. It ran 280 on Amazon. So not too bad, but let's dig in here. I mean, at the end of the day, that 5080 is such a beast. And the Trix panorama screen that's going to be on my pump on my AIO, you're not going to see much of the motherboard anyway. So aesthetics aren't that big of a deal, to be honest. But this is still a nice looking motherboard. And Gigabyte, though I haven't had as much Gigabyte stuff, they've never done me wrong. I've built with quite a few motherboards for flips. Although I will say I've used a lot of ASUS products, so I'm very familiar with their BIOS. That's the only thing that I'm not going to like about this, is having to get acquainted to a new BIOS setup. But let's see, out of the box here we got SATA cables, Wi-Fi antenna. This board actually has Wi-Fi 7, so that's a plus. The last two Strix motherboards that failed were only Wi-Fi 6, so, and I am actually going to be using Wi-Fi for the time being. I still need to sneak a cord through the house from my son's room to my setup, because I've actually, believe it or not, been running on Wi-Fi the entire time I've been PC gaming in this house, which is not cool, man. But now that we're going to have a super duper awesome setup, it just wouldn't make sense to not be running an Ethernet cable. My wife doesn't understand tech mumbo jumbo, so to her, she just thinks I'm unnecessarily running a cord through the house, which I'll do my best to, sneakily do it while she's at work. That way, by the time she comes home, the deed is done, and I'll make it look nice. But anyway, this is basically just going to be a motherboard review. I'm not going to do the whole process of putting my CPU in, and the anti-bend contact frame, and RAM, and all my drives and all that. I mean, this is the third one, guys. I've already made 2 videos with the other 2, and that being done, so there's no sense in making a third video of basically doing the same routine. So this is basically just a unboxing of the Aorus motherboard. This is like some kind of front panel connector for dummies, I guess. I'm not... Gigabyte calls it their G connector installation guide. I guess that, if you're a new builder, that part is kind of tricky. So that's kind of cool they do that. It looks like this just kind of tells you where everything goes. I guess you put this on the motherboard and then plug your wires into this. So It's just kind of a guide, if you will. I don't know. I have to look more into that because I've never seen one of these come with a motherboard. It's kind of neat they do that though. Then you just got your actually a paper installation manual or guide. It's kind of a toss-up. Sometimes you get those, sometimes you don't. But anyway, boring stuff for the Wi-Fi. I'm not even sure what this cable is. I think it's for your speaker, for throwing error codes. Let's unbox this baby or unwrap it, get a closer look. This is the highest one available. I think they have a white variant as well that's pretty much the same thing. But third time's the charm, right guys? I've got a ton of stuff to do, so to be honest, this isn't really even fun anymore. This is the third time I've basically built this computer. I'm kind of ready for it to be over with. Not to mention, I mean, I'm down a rig right now. My laptop has done an outstanding job. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I basically just watch a lot of YouTube, so it does fine in that sense. But man, this is a good looking motherboard. I like how they've married the gray and lighter gray and black all together. It's a really good looking motherboard. And we got a lot of pills here too, but yeah, she's a beauty. Now, just like the last Strix motherboard, we have 5 M.2 slots. 4 are all going to be underneath this big plate here, and the one with the massive heat shield on it is actually Gen 5, and then the other 4 slots are Gen 4. I got a little excited at first because I do have a 1TB Gen 5 drive that I was going to use for my boot drive, but I threw that idea out the window once I learned that if you use this slot, you will be cutting your lanes in half. Your GPU will go from 16 to 8 lanes. So we're not down with that for sure. There's no sense in spending all that money on a badass GPU just to hinder it in any way. But I think what we'll do to help with heat dissipation is, I think there's 3 here and 1 here. I think we'll skip a slot. That way it'll kind of help with heat dissipation, theoretically. But yeah, good looking motherboard. LGA 1700 DDR5. Can go up to 192 gigabytes on the RAM, I believe. Your I/O actually looks like it's cut down. There's just this big blank area which just looks kind of weird. But you do have, you know, all your USB 3, and looks like we only have 1 Type-C that can also be display. And no clear CMOS or any of the fancy stuff that we had on the other Strix motherboard. But all in all, really good looking motherboard. I'm ready to throw this thing together, get this build done, because we got a lot of video ideas and just stuff we need to get done to finish the whole overall setup, because I'm very, very excited to bring y'all a setup tour when I get done with everything, because everything has come together so nicely. But oh, sorry about that camera jerking. Yeah, it looks like that even covers the battery. I don't know if I'm really crazy about that design choice, but if you just needed to get to your battery, that's kind of a pain in the dick, but whatever. But anyway, that's the Mobo.